Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on the troublesome reign of King John, and we get to hear from King John today in Act 1, Scene 5, which is a scene that was supposed to start with the wedding between Louis the Dauphin and Blanche, the niece of King John. She's actually from Spain, but she's the niece of King John. So this marriage would knit France and England together. So then France is now on the side of King John and can not pay attention to Arthur's whole claim to the throne thing, which Constance is not thrilled about. But she, at this point, doesn't really count. They don't care what she has to say. They've just decided that, yes, we will go ahead with this marriage as it was proposed by the citizen of Angiers so that their town would not be decimated. So Act 1, Scene 5 starts out, there's supposed to be a wedding happening, but then the bastard interrupts everything to say that he is carrying a very serious grudge against Limoges and wants a chance to fight him. And Limoges is like, no, I'm not doing that. And King John is like, well, but if you, Austria, were challenged by an English duke, would you then accept that challenge? And he's like, well, yeah, I'd kind of have to at that point. So John makes the bastard a duke right then and there so that he can make that challenge. And Limoges is like, that's really not fair. So he leaves. And the bastard tries to go after him, but John's like, you've won this round, like, never mind. And Queen Eleanor is like, oh, you're so lovely and bloodthirsty. I'm so proud. And King Philip tries to get it back to, hey, there's supposed to be a wedding happening right now. But then Cardinal Pandolf came in, sort of full of fire, demanding to know why King John is not recognizing the new Archbishop of Canterbury, that's Stephen Langton, who's been appointed by the Pope. He's like, you're flying in the face of the Church, of the Pope. Like, what are you doing? Why will you not recognize the new Archbishop of Canterbury? And King John says, and what hast thou, or the Pope, thy master, to do to demand of me how I employ mine own? No, Sir Priest, as I honor the Church and holy churchmen, so I scorn to be subject to the greatest prelate in the world. Tell thy master so from me, and say, John of England said it, that never an Italian priest of them all shall either have tithe, toll, or polling penny out of England, but as I am king, so will I reign next under God, supreme head, both over spiritual and temporal. And he that contradicts me in this, I'll make him hop headless. So this is John saying, I don't care what the church says, because below God, like I'm just one step below God. So nobody from Italy is going to tell me how to live my life, who I need to pay attention to, what rules I need to follow. Like, I'm not listening to some Italian priest. I'm not going to be subject to some Italian priest. Like, I'm second in command under God, and that's how I rule my kingdom. So we are not giving any money to the Roman Catholic Church. No tithings, no tolls, no nothing is going to be going to the Roman Catholic Church. And anybody that wants to contradict that will regret it in the long term. So King Philip is like, you know that that's blasphemy, right? And John doesn't care. And he's like, if the Pope wants to be King of England, then he can come and try to win it with a sword. Like, the Pope has no jurisdiction here. And the cardinal is like, is that your final answer? And John's like, yep, it is. And the cardinal's like, okay, you are excommunicated. And furthermore, everybody that knows King John or ever meets King John, I urge you now to wage war against King John, and I preemptively pardon whoever it is that ends up killing King John. So John turns to King Philip, because, their families kind of just got married, so they should be working on the same side together. And he's like, how do you feel about all of this? And Philip's like, sorry, but I got to side with the Pope. And John is like, really? But like, you swore to me. And Philip is like, yeah, but the cardinal just like made all of those kinds of oaths null and void. They were all just dissolved, so that's not really valid anymore. I gotta side with the Pope. And King John is going to have a retort for that in the form of a monologue, which we will hear tomorrow. So I will see you then. Mwah.